I was thinking about this the other day. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard the saying. It's like in the future, there's a saying where it's like you will own nothing and be happy.
Yep.
You guys heard about that?
Yep. I've heard
I
that.
think people say it's like a conspiracy in reference to like BlackRock buying up all homes and like you won't own your home and you won't own your car. You won't own anything. And I'm thinking, okay, like, yeah, right now that sounds scary. And it sounds like something that we might not want. But I was like, yo, that's kind of already happened in so many spaces. Like if you look at music and movies, people used to own music and movies. You buy a CD, you buy a DVD, you own that now.
Facts.
But now we're all just paying these subscription fees,
True.
$10, $20 a month, and you're enjoying it, but you don't own it.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. What's going on here? If you haven't liked, subscribed, or followed yet, you know where to find us. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. DJ Julian Rivera here today. You already know Edgar the Sphere Munoz is in the house because he's taking up most of the airspace with his head. We also got the one and only Mr. 305.
I didn't know he was talking about you.
AKA Edwin Rodriguez in the house today too. But more importantly, we got a very special guest on here. I'm going to let him introduce himself because typically he's the one introducing everyone else. Selmir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. First of all, guys, I'm Selmir. I'm the founder and host of the All4All podcast. And I will say it is different being the interviewee.
Yep.
I've done so many podcasts and talked to so many people, but it's different being on this side. I felt a little nervous when I did this panel like last month for Antidote Agency at Assembly. And I've done a panel before where I was the host and there was only maybe like 5-6 people in the audience and I knew them. So it's like I felt more comfortable. But this one, I'm just one of the guests and there's like 50 people in the audience. And I will say I felt a little nervous. It took me a sec to get like in the flow of it, but it was fun. Yeah. Thanks for having me, though.
No, of course. The All4All podcast, right? I said that right?
Yes, sir. The All4All podcast.
So All4All, don't ever call me sir again. All right, so All4All podcast is you've been taking off, bro.
You can see it, right?
I've been seeing it going. You're on 300 plus episodes. 300 and what to be exact?
26.
326 is dropping tonight. I don't know when this is coming out, but we have an episode with Juan Skis dropping tonight. He's a DJ and a battle rapper from Norfolk, but he mainly battles in Richmond.
That's fire, dude.
Yeah.
And how old are you, dude?
30.
All right, and you've been doing this for almost 6 years now?
Almost 6 years. We started at like the height of the pandemic. Like I was telling you guys before the pod, I was on the unemployment. I'm also an electrician, so that's like my day gig.
Dope.
But I was on unemployment at the time, and I think I got like $20,000 off the unemployment over that like year or two, and I just put all that pretty much into building my studio.
Yeah.
I built a studio in like my parents' backyard. And I started the podcast. In the beginning of my pod, it was like pretty much crew episodes. I had like 4 other guys with me, like my friends at the time.
Yeah.
And people kind of just stopped. We did like 20 or 30 of those, and people kind of just stopped showing up. I was the last one showing up, and I always had an idea to interview people, so I kind of just ran with it like solo after that.
That's dope.
So early on, how were you meeting, I guess,
guests or
just the random guests that you're selecting?
So even before I started the podcast, I was making music. So I guess a little bit of history.
There you go.
I've been doing like creative stuff and things that I'm doing right now in some capacity since I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was on the morning announcements in high school.
Okay.
I was doing skits. So I'm 30. So basically every year I was in school was the year that it was. So like when I started 9th grade, it was 2009. So in 2006, when I was in 6th grade, I was a magician. My first ever YouTube video was I made my little brother disappear, and like I put that on YouTube.
Word.
So I'm doing that. Excuse me. And then so in high school, I'm doing like skits with my friends at a time when nobody's doing skits. I'm just like, they're still on YouTube. They're kind of cringy now, but I'm doing that. I'm making music. I graduate high school, and then I kind of put everything down for like 3-4 years. I was just being an electrician, doing that. And I had a friend, Cameron, that kind of got me back into doing creative stuff, which was music at the time.
Yeah.
So I started making music again in like 2017 to like 2022-ish when I retired from music. But 2020 is when I started the pod, and I had some connections to your point. I had some connections of people that like I was just making music with and stuff.
Okay.
But I guess over time, as I meet people and do more episodes, they refer me to other people, and then I just meet everybody through,
Yeah,
through
now
other
it's
people.
organic. And like I said, one of the things that I was just dying laughing is you had a guest there where this like you guys need to make the documentary of the rise and fall.
Oh, of BBLs. That was Alexander J. So I just met him as well. So have you guys heard of him before that?
No.
So he's a documentary filmmaker. He started doing music videos, I want to say like 10, 12 years ago. And he was compiling all of this footage from all these different rappers in the area. And a few years ago, he won this contest. It was like some like film documentary like contest in England, I think. And he won like 100-some-thousand to produce his documentary about these rappers in Virginia. So he's working on that right now. He stopped by the show to talk about that. The joke that he's referring to is, so we do like promo like skits for our episodes, which I don't think any other podcasts do that, honestly. I'm a firm believer that we have the most creative podcast promos. But I was like, yo, I think we should do a documentary on the rise and fall of BBLs in America
chart and everything.
That was a fake. Well, the funniest part, you're missing out on that. I don't know if you watched the whole thing. In the video we Googled it. We Googled. I said Google BBL. He wanted to Google this other thing. He said type in big black booty. So all right,
I did see that.
We had Karen Google big black booty, and the picture of Mike Tyson when he was fighting with his ass out.
Remember that?
It was on a Google search. I'm like, why is Mike Tyson on the big black booty? Mike Tyson.
When he's warming up.
I'm like, what is happening here?
What are you talking about?
That's all.
Shout out to Alex. That was a fire episode.
That is hilarious. So you're usually you're the moderator, you're the questioner, you're the interviewer, right? So you're on the other side of the couch right now. And when you tee up these podcasts, bro, you don't even speak to these people until they just walk in.
Yeah, I just told you that before the episode. I don't know if many people know that, but yeah, most of the people I do podcasts with, we send a couple DMs back and forth before, when I'm booking them and stuff, and then they just show up. And then usually right when they walk in the studio, within 5 minutes, they're already on the couch and the episode has started.
That's dope.
So like we're getting to know each other in real time as you're watching it.
Right. I mean, that's fire. I mean, that right there is marketability. I mean, the fact that you guys do all the fire promos and stuff, I agree. You have some really cool ones.
Yeah.
And I got to ask this, bro. You're daytime electrician, nighttime podcastor. Who's doing all your editing? Are you doing all this too?
I do all the edits.
So you're doing everything yourself, bro.
I'm the executive producer. I'm the creative director. I'm the booking person. I do everything. I have a shout out to my boy Kieran Biru. He's like my co-producer. He's behind the scenes on every episode, so he'll Google things for us. He makes our thumbnails. I brainstorm with him, just kind of jot ideas with him. So he's a big help, though.
That's fire, though, dude. That's super dope, man. I mean, and you've already created this monster, right? In a good way. Like, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. You're 30 years. You just turned 30, bro. What's your goal for the next 5 years? Like, what's the 5-year plan with this podcast? Because you're creating something that is one of the most organic podcasts that I've seen out of the 757 in a minute, dog.
It's unique.
Like, seriously. And I see this because the reason why I even came across my page is because you're interviewing some of my friends. I mean, I know that. I'm like, oh, that's dope. And then I just start going down rabbit holes. What do? We go on social media. Then we just start doing our own due diligence and seeing this shit. It's really, really good, dude. So, like, what's your plan with this show, bro? You're growing pretty quickly.
My plan is for we're talking about 5 years. One of my goals is to have a building. Like I told you, I built a studio in my parents' backyard, which is like a 20 by 20. And that's fine for what we're doing right now. But I have a bunch of other ideas of like shows I want to produce and things I want to do where I'm not even on camera, but I want to have a bigger space for that.
Okay.
I kind of want to do like my vision for like the past 5 years has been to create like the fantasy factory of creativity. Like you remember Rob Dyrdek's show, Fantasy Factory?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a building and that's where we shoot the podcast at, but it's like we create a whole show around like what's being done in there. I want to, people talk about what, every success is different to everybody. We're on your peak life. So I guess for me, the peak for right now is just to make a living off this thing. Yeah. I mean, God willing, I want to make, millions of dollars, and I want to do all that with the brand and do partnerships. But for right now, my first goal is to be able to make what I would make being an electrician.
Yeah. With
my podcast. So if I can make like $5,000 a month, to me, I'm winning. Yeah. That's like I'm already successful. I'm ambitious, so I'm going to keep going and reaching for more. But that's like my first goal right now is to just be able to make a decent living with like off this.
Yeah, because I'd say your podcast is like a mesh of like a live streamer podcast kind of area.
You think so? I don't really watch much like live streamers, so I don't even know if that's correct or not.
Yeah, it's just kind of like sometimes it's like you see the whole room, you guys are interacting in there. It's just kind of crazy to me. It's like versus just sitting here or
Yeah.
people are behind the mic.
Well, what other podcasts do you guys watch? I want to just kind of base your podcast taste. Like,
I mean, honestly, right now, like I am not following one particular person, but like obviously, like Joe Rogan, I was following him, or what's his name, the comedian that's always with Charlemagne.
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
Where I'm at right now, currently on the podcast, so like I'm a DJ by trade. Ironically, I don't even drive around and listen to music anymore, dog. I don't. That's also a pro and a con, because now I have to go deep diving more when I'm trying to find like what the new trends are. I have to actually take time to do it. It's not like back in the day I could turn the radio on and then we're dropping the newest tracks, and I'm on the radio, so I already know it months and months before it comes out. So with me, it's more so motivation and getting to the next level, like Bedro Coolio's, like the Gary V's, like the typical stuff. But I'm not even sitting there watching. I'm just listening, like when I'm working out. I'm listening when I'm driving around, because one thing that I've learned is like our brains are our computer. We know that. I'm older now. I'm 42, but it's like I've programmed my brain to where I want to be in the next 5 years. So like we're talking about peaks and valleys, right? So like now when I want to laugh, I know where I want to go, or like laugh or just enjoy. I have my handful that I'm going to go to that kind of check the boxes of what I want. If I want to get motivated and pumped, which is usually when I'm working out or driving around between appointments so I can stay like on my game, I know where I'm going to go to. But 99% of the time, I'm not sitting there watching it, right? The only time I'm actually watching it is when I'm scrolling. That's just how I view things. It doesn't mean that the 30-year-old views it that way. It doesn't mean the 20-year-old views it that way. Everyone watches and absorbs just based on how they grew up.
Are you talking about podcasts or just content in general?
Podcasts in general. You're just to answer your podcast question. From content, I'm looking at content. I'm scrolling either left or right. But if I'm driving around from a podcast perspective, I'm mostly like listening to it. I'm not watching it.
Okay.
That's just me though. And again, I'm 42. They're in their mid 40s as well. So like now you're talking to a generation. We grew up driving around listening to music. You know what I mean? Like the radio.
Y'all had tapes.
Yeah,
in the car.
CD,
tapes in the car.
I'm a CD guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like dead ass.
I'm old enough I had a CD player.
All right,
I remember being in elementary school having a CD player. Like my first CD I had was like I had Get Rich or Die Trying. Or was it Damascus? Is it Get Rich or Die Trying is the album, right?
Yeah, that was 50 Cent's album.
Yeah. So I had his album, and then I had this like Digimon soundtrack CD that had like I think Message in a Bottle on it and like shit like that.
Aguilera and
I
shit.
had a CD player.
Okay. So like
I had a Walkman.
See, I didn't have a Walkman, but yeah.
Yeah, we had a walk.
I had a Walkman.
So they were Walkman guys. I was more of a CD guy. So like where my generation was like, and then since I was a DJ, vinyl was still a thing. I was the young guy hanging out with the OGs. Like when I was like in my teens, I was hanging out with the 30-year-olds that were already in the club, and I was sneaking in to go watch them, not to drink and party. Like I just enjoyed the art of it, but I'd help carry a crates or whatever. So like when I was just saying before we got on, I divested all my vinyl recently because it's just taking up space. Kept what I wanted. I will never get rid of it. But I'm looking there and I'm like seeing my doubles, because back in the day I can download an MP3 and I can put it on side A and B now, which makes it way easier. But I used to have to go buy these doubles. You will never know the feeling of this, Selmir. You will never have to. So just say that's a blessing and actually have both vinyls. We have to listen, find where to put it on, mark it with a piece of tape, do it on Beth, and only have an ear and no visual marker. So I have to make sure that I'm using it like an instrument, like a drum, like a guitar, like anything. And that's where that art of actual turntablism starts. And that's where I love. So like now the art of podcasting is really programming people to where I feel they need or want to go in the future, or they just need a break and they just want some fucking fun content right now to just take the day to day out.
I mean, there's a podcast for whatever you're looking for. So there's millions of pods now. The thing is, you're gonna either watch a podcast because there's a guest you like on there, or you like the host, or you like the topic they're talking about. Right. For me, I love Joe Rogan. I love Andrew Schultz. I watch Flagrant. Those are probably my favorite two podcasts. I like PBD podcasts as well. But I think to me the best podcasts are just authentic conversations.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And it sounds easy. It is easy talking to people, but for somebody like you see people doing it in an awkward way, and then that shows you that maybe it wasn't as easy as you thought. Like people just get on podcasts, and I feel like are performative. That's kind of what turns me off of any pod. So as long as you're being yourself and you're being authentic, I think that's cool. And then if it's a topic that I'm interested in, I'll listen to it.
Yep.
But just kind of go back what you said about like buying a bunch of vinyls and stuff. I was thinking about this the other day. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard the saying. It's like in the future, there's a saying where it's like you will own nothing and be happy.
Yep.
You guys heard about that?
Yep. I've heard
I think people say it's like a conspiracy in reference to like BlackRock buying up all homes, and like you won't own your home and you won't own your car, you won't own anything. And I'm thinking, okay, like, yeah, right now that sounds scary. And it sounds like something that we might not want. But I was like, yo, that's kind of already happened in so many spaces. Like if you look at music and movies, people used to own music and movies. You buy a CD, you buy a DVD, you own that now.
Facts.
But now we're all just paying these subscription fees,
True.
$10, $20 a month, and you're enjoying it, but you don't own it.
Yep.
And you are happy. So like, could that translate into every other industry? Like slowly over time, we just pay a little monthly fee. You get a house, you know, like, but you don't own it, and you'll never own it.
I mean, it's like renting in theory.
Yeah, but it could be cheaper though than renting.
I mean, depending on where the inflation market go. But I see what you're saying that because that's a very valid model. I mean, Netflix knocked out Blockbuster, right? And every other platform they created the streaming. If you really think about it, they're the OGs behind it. They're too big to fail. Live Nation did the same thing when it comes down to concerts. They run the music industry, right? Zillow has done the same thing when it comes down to real estate. They run the real estate industry regardless if they're a real estate company or not. I'm saying all that because to your point, like BlackRock is buying up mad houses. A lot of these hedge funds are doing that. I mean, I just had one buy one of my listings the other day. Here's the proof of funds, $100 million. I'm like, okay, you can buy this house. Perfect. I mean, that's a real thing that's happening.
And it's because of convenience, right? Why consumers allowed it to happen in the space that has happened already. It's convenience. And it happened. Netflix was able to do that because the consumers didn't have pushback. If everybody was like, no, we want to own our movies.
true.
Well, it
wouldn't work.
I think it's twofold also. You own CDs, so how much was a CD when you bought it? Do you remember?
Maybe like $10, $20, right?
Yeah, and then remember they started going up to like $20. People started getting pissed. Then Napster came out, and there's like kind of like the rebellion, but it wasn't a blessing. It wasn't a blessing in disguise, right?
Once the plan, dog.
Now it's owned by corporations, and you have to pay the subscription to hear the music, just like the artist. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z kind of failed, I would say, when he started his streaming service because nobody was really going there to listen to all these artists. They were still going to Apple and all the other big streaming services.
It's the program
that run it.
People know those names. You know, they're going to go.
Yeah,
to
I got
like
the family plan. The whole family's on the plan for Apple Music, and we listen to whatever we want.
Yo, I saw a meme the other day. Did you guys see how I think Netflix put a bid to buy Paramore? Or not Paramount. Paramount.
Warner Brothers, yeah.
Shout out to Paramore too. But it was a meme. It was like, yo, Netflix out here trying to buy Paramount, but they won't even let me share my password with my mom. I was like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
I can see that. And then did you see the next one that 50 Cent's trying to come in and buy it and be another person to own it so Netflix doesn't own everything?
I didn't see 50. I saw that Netflix made a bid and somebody else made a bid on it too. It was somebody else. I forgot.
But
I didn't see 50 though.
But the fact that everything is getting more compressed, right? It's like I always go back to the DJ world because that's where I spent most of my life. It used to be a DJ, then an MC. Now the DJ is the MC. Now the DJ is the MC, the promoter, the graphic designer, the content creator, everything. So it's like now you're just compressing the hats together, but more so by decompressing the market by eliminating jobs, which is unfortunate. You know, it's because a lot of these things are getting.
What's that? It's a term for that, like consolidating, right?
Yeah, it's
when you kind of like merge businesses,
right?
Yeah.
But even in our industry, like you being an electrician, like that's where we see the future now. Like
hell yeah.
Like forget going to college and doing this stuff. Those trade jobs are what's of value down in the future that are going to be the next millionaires.
They've always been values. I mean, I think they tricked majority of people into going to college. I think like probably like 90% of people that went to college probably don't get a degree in that field. They wasted their time.
I would say probably more than that.
Maybe more. I don't know the actual stat, but like, yeah, you probably should have been a plumber or an electrician or built houses or something. Like, I agree that's gonna be the jobs that are valuable in the future, but also like creative jobs, where people have like you cultivate a taste over the years that people think is cool, and then your input it matters and it makes a difference in a project and like your creative vision. That's things that I don't think like an AI can do, or I think from what I hear, like people at these labels and different like companies, I forgot what the actual job is, but like the people that are the creatives, they're getting more money now. It's not like back in the day, like a content creator might get paid pennies because they're like not looked at as important.
Right.
But now that's everything.
Yep. Content's king. I mean, you're a 90s baby, right? Born in 95, just
95.
turned 30. All right.
Yep.
So then now, I do not disagree with you in your college statement. I've been saying that forever. When I was in corporate America, they were like, oh, I can't believe you don't have a degree. I don't know if we can get this, blah, blah, blah. It's a piece of paper. I personally I think that college is really meant for three things. And I don't mean to throw shade on anybody, but there's certain things that you have to. Legal. You have to, in order to be a lawyer, you got to go to college. That's medical. If you're going to be doctors, nurses, or whatever, you have to do that, right? and then engineering, because there's so many verticals in all of these categories, just to be clear. Those are 3 non-negotiables, and we're always going to need those in theory. Can you name anything else from a 30-year-old, from a 90s baby perspective, outside of those 3 fields? What else is college meant for?
I mean, you know, the most important one, you know, I might get a degree in like LGBTQ studies or like art. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was waiting for your pun on your punch on it.
There's no
Like,
pun.
all right.
There's a bunch of bullshit degrees. That's what I'm saying. Which that stuff I don't want to say is bullshit. Like if you're actually interested in these topics and you want to just go to college to like gain the knowledge,
but is it worth?
You could probably still learn it on YouTube.
Yeah,
you know, but
or a podcast.
I think what college is great for is, I mean, no matter what you do, is you get more educated, so you might learn more words. Your vocabulary might get better. You might talk to smarter people, so then that'll like rub off on you. Like you can. There's things you can learn, I think, that are like important, like skills that are like besides your actual degree, like not even the knowledge you went there for.
Right.
It could be a networking
Networking
event, but is it worth $200,000 to go to this?
I mean, that's the
I can't afford it. So, I mean, if you can afford it, why not?
But to your point, like I have one of my mottos is get in the room. Like if you can go there, let's say that you don't even fucking use your degree at all, but you met the right people, you could set yourself up for life. I don't give a shit what the cost is, right? I don't give a if you go to Harvard or TCC. It's the same concept. It's just a matter of who you're surrounding yourself with. And what is the cliche statement? The 5 people you hang out with the most is going to dictate your future. So you're hanging out with 5 millionaires, you're most likely going to be the 6th. If you hang out with 5 losers, you're most likely going to be the 6th. So that is the number one value that I can see that is still getting pushed from kids going to college, bro. Like that's what I can see, especially if you're in a certain specific system. That's what they're always going to push, because that's one of the top 3 things that keeps America going is the financial gain they get from college education. That's a fact. And the numbers are out there. So, but now you're an electrician, like you're saying, a plumber, a tradesman. Those guys are ballers, bro. It's a lot of work.
Bro, I'll go out and make $1,000 today.
That's what I'm saying.
I work for myself, so
okay.
Yeah, I had $1,000 job like a few days ago at a smoke shop. I'm putting up a bunch of lights in the smoke shop. Also, like while I'm in the smoke shop, like 11 people walking in throughout the day. Like, aren't you off-world?
Boom.
I'm like, yeah. So because I don't really get recognized in Hampton that often. Like most of our audience is on this side of the water.
Okay.
But that day was like the most times I ever got recognized on that side, like in one day.
See, but that's a good thing. That means that means what you're doing is working.
But yeah, and then I mean, also college, like I think experience is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So like, I know even from being an electrician, like I learned on the job. I didn't go to school. I've been doing it since I graduated. So I've been doing electric for like 12 years now. Didn't go to school, just showed up at my first company, kind of learned the ropes, climbed the ropes, whatever. And I know even from that field, like we'll have people come in that went to school for this and they'll like come to the job site. Like they're like this big boss, they got a degree, but they don't know shit. They have no real world like job site experience.
Right.
And that you could tell a difference in those people.
I mean, June, you're talking to a master chief.
Senior chief,
excuse me. I always disrespect him that way, and I don't mean to. Senior chief, retired, 23 years. Correct. I got that right, in the Navy. You were in charge of mad people, dog. But that also gave you a ton of experience, not just in leadership, but in a lot of other things. So when you're the OG in the room, but like from an experience perspective, can you even put a price tag on that shit, dude?
No, I don't think so. A lot of my success is rooted from that decision of joining the Navy.
Right.
Right. It surrounded me around a different environment. So I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey.
Yep.
So I grew up with Black and Spanish people, right? Then I went to Puerto Rico. And I'm all around I went from one extreme to another. I'm in a mountain in Puerto Rico, obviously only Puerto Ricans.
Right.
In not even as rural as Suffolk. It's a different thing in the islands, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I made a decision to join the Navy. I met 2 guys from Virginia that are still my friends. I landed here, and then that exposed me to the Rock Creek crew that I still hang out with, Dion and Breon and them. And then someone, introduced me to real estate, right? And it all was based on, the same in the same time frame. I'm meeting people, making decisions based on the people that I meet, but I'm also gaining leadership experience from my day job being in the Navy.
Right.
And just being competitive, right? Because if you come, you could come in the Navy and just do your years and kind of go on.
And coast.
Coast, right? Yeah. Or you can go in the Navy and kind of, get everything that you can from it, which is the administrative skills, which is the leadership skills, which is, so on and so forth. the ability to hold a conversation with someone, right, and not disrespect them.
Right.
The ability to talk to anybody, no matter if they're the janitor or the CEO, the same way. Those are traits and skills that I learned in the Navy. So there's no price on that. You know what I mean?
You can't put a price on that.
And I often tell people I have my PhD. That's what makes me, I got a public high school diploma.
Right.
You know how valuable that is?
That's fire. I didn't expect that.
You know what I mean? Your public high school diploma, just think about that, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're around all people walks of life. Everybody's in a particular, look at Lansdowne, right?
Yeah.
All different types of demographic, all different types of income brackets,
Yep.
Lansdowne. Because you could be in a $700,000-$800,000 neighborhood, or you could be in $100,000 neighborhood, or you could be in Twin Canal.
Right.
And every single neighborhood is like that. But the experience that you get from meeting all these young kids and building these relationships with the skaters, with the jocks, with the hip hop heads, that translates into success.
That's true.
As an adult.
Well, you're mentioning the real estate prices. You guys do real estate, so maybe you can inform me on some stuff.
Okay.
I've been seeing that real estate prices are about to drop next year, 2026, by like as much as 50%. Have you guys heard anything about this? What do you think about just the crazy amount that things have went up in price since COVID?
Hold on.
So
Like things are like I know, for example, in my neighborhood, houses are selling, like they're putting houses up for like 350, 400 grand.
Yep.
They're not worth that. Like these houses
Compared
that
to
are
what though?
Why would you say that? So we got to dissect what you're
You
saying.
open up our-
right?
yeah.
You open up
Well-
an alley of
well, I mean, I don't understand how things can go up double in 2 years.
and
nothing else went up.
That's
okay,
false. But okay. Keep
Not
going.
nothing. Well, incomes didn't go up.
That's also true.
So a person. So let me just give you the landscape. 99% of the homes purchased in this area are going to be VA loans, right? VA prior veterans, right? You can't buy a home for a price unless it's appraised for that price. So no one that's buying a home is buying a home that it's not worth it. That's incorrect.
The bank is not going to give you a check for $350,000 if the house is not worth that.
Correct.
So then,
So how did
the
how did the appraisals go up like double in like 3 years?
comparables?
Comparables.
So
that-
here, it kind of kicked it off during COVID, right? So COVID, I'm sure you remember because you talked about when you started your podcast, you felt like a fucking hero when you went to go get toilet paper, right? Or go to the store.
I guess, yeah.
Like it was like you're risking your life to hit the store.
Yeah.
But then there's those items. Nobody wants the cheap brand of toilet paper. They want the good stuff, but it's not there
Charmin,
anymore. That's what happened to real estate. In basically nationwide, especially here,
Supply went down.
supply went way down because now military's not transferring anymore. They stopped all of that. Jobs stopped transferring. Everybody who was supposed to leave and put their houses up for sale stopped. Builders stopped building.
I know they slowed down on building for a little bit
Oh,
there
we're still behind.
because construction prices went up, like material
Yeah,
prices.
Materials price. So everybody stopped building, supply. So supply. It was more of a supply and demand issue that kicked off the wars. So now you got in that market. It was not rare for us to list a nice, beautiful home, and we'd see immediately 10 to 20 offers, and I'm not exaggerating. Within 24 to 48 hours.
If you didn't get an offer within 24 hours, your client probably would not be buying a house. That's how it was, like within minutes. So
Yeah, you
go
didn't even
ahead.
have a chance. You'd walk in. Do you like the house or not?
There was
like
no
that-
This is
That's-
after COVID.
This is during
during.
COVID.
During COVID.
So now
is
everybody.
this home? Let's cut you off. Is this homeowners buying it, or is this like people with like house flippers trying to buy up everything and flip
Anybody,
houses?
Both.
Anybody trying to buy.
Anybody
Anybody trying to buy it.
anything.
It's both. They're battling each other. And so nobody knows how long. Obviously, we've never been in this space at this time. We don't know what's this space, what it looks like. We're just in it. So now everybody's battling each other to win this property. Now people are paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to win this offer and dishing out cash. And by the way, even though we made an offer on that 350 house for 380, the appraisers would bring the price back down. But it's still sold for 380 because people would pay the difference. So prices went up really, really fast. Now, after we get out of COVID, there was a sticker shock when interest rates went from
3 to 7.
let's say on average it was 3 all of a sudden it just jumped close to
Doubled
7%.
as well. Yeah.
More than double.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during that time, the other thing that was affecting those home prices was anybody can afford a $400,000 house
Facts.
because interest rates were 3, sometimes 2.5. Mortgage payments was, imagine that, buying a $400,000 house and you're only paying $2,000 a month.
Yeah. People are renting for $2,000 a month now.
Now,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
and so that's the other part that was affected was rentals. People stayed put. No more rentals. So now people are outbidding themselves on rentals.
Well, so do you? I guess 2 questions. Do you think that the real estate market in Hampton Roads is correctly priced right now?
Yep.
And do you think
Yes.
the prices will go down next year?
No. So I'm gonna say. So first, will
That's
will
a lot of noise
prices
online.
change in other places? Possibly. Sure.
Not out here though.
Hampton Roads is the most transient area, and we are not even in
And
most
dense.
national. Like when you're listening to the news and they're talking about the housing, and that's not Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
Like I've been in real estate since 2003, so I'm giving you a perspective of being a real estate agent in this area since that time. All right, I don't see us dropping in value. First, we had a price correction.
Especially not 50%.
Correct.
Hell no.
So we had to have a price corrections because in Hampton Roads prior to COVID, we weren't gaining that equity like nationally.
It was like 3%, let's just say. On
Correct. Where
average.
the average was like 5 to 10.
Depending on neighborhoods.
neighborhoods.
Depending on the neighborhoods, average home prices would go up steadily about 3% year over year. Some neighborhoods are more, right? Lagomar is a place people want to live or whatever. Ocean Lakes, for example, has become that community where people are fighting to get in there. So those tend to trend up a little faster than other neighborhoods. Now, for it to come down 50%, this community is so dense, so many military people coming in and out. In other parts of America where people move every 8 to 10 years, here they're moving 3 to 4 years. So there's constant resale.
Or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, let's throw in divorces. Military, their divorce rate is like
Way higher than
90%,
normal.
whatever.
Well, I guess another thing I read too. Tell me if this is true. Is that I think this year, for the first time since prices have been going up, houses have been selling for less than the asked price or like the listed price.
Yes. So there
Why
has
is that?
been interest rates, number one. And definitely now that interest rates have gone up since COVID, people are just not buying anything. So your house is not set up the way it should be. So before pre-COVID, it was not rare for a house to sit on the market for 30 days. That was normal. House would sit on the market 20 to 30 days. We show up, you love the house. We offer you full price. And as for your closing costs, that was normal. You would win that way. Everybody's still in that mindset from COVID. And you got to understand that there's another thing at play here where there's 8,000 agents in our area?
8,500.
8,500 agents in just Hampton Roads. Over half of them didn't even sell a house last year.
Facts.
So all these people are spreading the wrong information because they're not out here selling like that.
Correct.
So check this out, Selmir. So when I come on your show, I think that we should talk real estate and numbers because I think a lot of the audience that you talk to, majority of the time, they're listening to the national noise. The Hampton Roads specifically, we are one of the top 25 strongest markets in the country, and we're going to be healthy for a very long time because of these 3 reasons. Number one is military. We gain and lose roughly 300-ish thousand people a year. As soon as somebody leaves, they come right back. We only have about 1.3, 1.4 million people in the market. Do the math. That's about 20% of the market. That's always going to happen. We're the first line of defense for D.C. We can get a jet from here to D.C. in 7 minutes. You see what I'm saying? That'll never change. And we also have the biggest naval base in the entire country. It's the world of the country. In the world, excuse me. Here. That's just Navy, but we have every presence.
And I think one of the only 2 shipyards that do nuclear.
Yep.
Like submarines,
exactly.
right?
Correct.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number 2, we actually are a top 10 destination resort town on the East Coast. Virginia Beach, that is. Not the entire Hampton Roads, but Virginia Beach. But when someone comes to Virginia Beach, they realize other shit to go and check out outside of just being at the boardwalk. And number 3, we have the best history in the entire country here in Williamsburg and Jamestown. That's where the settlers landed. There's no one else in the country that has what I call the trifecta of these 3 things that will effectively keep this market super strong. Now check this joint out. So these 2 aren't even from here, right? He's been here forever. They've been here forever. I'm from here. So I've seen this since day one, since the 80s. Now, we're still slow growth, bro. Like the only other market we can really compare this to, and you say this a lot, is out in like San Diego, Cali, because they have the second
Los
biggest.
Angeles, California.
Like he's seen this triple, quadruple in value. We haven't even doubled in value yet. Because
Well, do we want to double in
check
value?
this out though. The pre-COVID market, the average purchase price before COVID was right around $250. Let's just say that, right? It is now
Average price of a home.
Average price of a home. That's the $1,000 lot and the $1 million cribs. All right, everything in
Hampton
between.
Roads.
So in Hampton Roads, that's the 7 cities. The average purchase price right now, what do you think it is?
$350.
Close, 362, as of last month with the data coming out. Okay, that's not even double. That's like maybe almost half.
But the problem is that income isn't going up.
That is also not. That's also true. But the thing is, and that's the number one problem. To be very fair, so like a lot of the other questions that you brought up. By the way, you turned yourself back into an interviewer. You went back to your comfort zone. All right. So don't think
I'm down to talk about whatever.
Don't. But at the end,
I am interested in it because I'm planning on buying a home sometime in the next year or two.
Well, the thing is, and I hate to say this,
That's
but
the education part.
That's the education. Like the longer you wait, the more shit's gonna get expensive. Specifically, back to your original statement: is pricing going down 50% by next year? No. Is it going to get more? Is it going to get harder to buy?
Will
a
it go
house?
down by 25%?
No. This year alone, we're
The
listing.
only thing it's not going to do is continue to rise, if anything.
It'll say.
It'll
It'll
This
go
is
back
what
to a
this-
normal track.
This is what this
3%.
market did. It went like this, and then it went here. It didn't go there. Like Miami's and everything else, they went down. Those numbers that
Yeah.
you're talking about.
And there's
but
other things at play in
Well,
Florida.
way-
you mentioned LA, Los Angeles stuff. Like I don't want to. I don't. Maybe you could tell me the factors that go into making a place get like this. But like I don't want a 2-bedroom house to be $1 million.
We don't
I agree.
So,
We-
like how
I think
did
we all
like
agree
in
on
LA or
Yeah,
like
I
New
agree.
York? So it's
Agree.
like
You
how do places get to that value and like how do we avoid that?
They're not a military town.
So different,
Yeah.
different factor, and they are.
LA?
San Diego's a
Yeah,
military
San Diego's
town.
super
I
military.
said LA.
So
No,
LA,
but San Diego
Yeah.
prices is the same thing.
LA
Fair,
is
fair,
all
fair,
business. You got to think Long Beach ports, all that stuff. It's a different type of business. Then you got the Bay Area, which is all tech, right?
Yep.
We know that.
Yeah.
But to your point is, I don't think we could stop it. We already have Amazon. You see the big buildings going up. They've already moved in. Dollar Tree corporate's moved in. It's gonna become the thing. We have the ports. We have the airport. The airport's expanding. So will we see a 2-bedroom $1 million apartment by the beach? Probably in the next couple of years. And to his point, the part that I always bring up is from Los Angeles, let's just say Virginia Beach is Los Angeles or San Diego, people drive from Suffolk to what you call Suffolk, I call Riverside, San Bernardino, to Los Angeles.
To work.
Right, to work.
Same thing happened in San Diego, East Lake.
What does that mean though?
Because
what he's
we
saying
got
that-
overpriced.
Yeah, if Virginia Beach, what he's
Oh, they
saying
don't want to
is-
live there. They'll
Correct.
rather live over here.
They
and
would
drive.
rather
Can't afford to
Okay.
live
They
there.
can't
Which is
afford.
exactly what's
Which what
happening
will
now.
happen? Yeah.
So right now, if you go to Suffolk, all the new construction's happening. All the new neighborhoods are going up. So I'm seeing it right now, and I saw this back in the mid '90s, where it's like all my family members or friends started moving to San Bernardino. I was one of them. I went and rented out a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in San Bernardino for $350 back in '96, because I couldn't afford to stay in Los Angeles either, and I wasn't gonna pay at that time like $1,200 a month for like a little 1-bedroom garage. So I ended up moving to San Bernardino and working in Los Angeles or doing whatever I need to do back in LA. And in San Diego was the same thing. You just got outpriced. And people generally get outpriced, but they're willing to sacrifice the travel time
Facts.
for the nice house and the land.
So Selmir, let me ask you this. Let's flip it back to you.
Okay.
Outside of you're hearing all this noise, and to be fair, we get passionate about this because we do this on a daily basis, right? Because people say a lot of the same things that you just said because they have this, and all they're doing is seeing what's on their feed. Majority of them don't go deep dive, which you might have, but majority of them don't deep dive to even get 5 minutes of actual real education on where the history has gone. Think about this. And you said every year matched up your high school year. Like 2009, you were a freshman, right? What happened in 2008, 2009?
The financial crash.
Okay, have you ever seen? Hold on, I'm on a run. Have you ever seen that movie, The Big Short?
I haven't watched it yet, but I know what
Watch
you're
it,
talking
and it's
about.
funny, and it has mad actors in there. It's a lot of good people in there, but it explains it in a easy way. Basically, bank fraud. All the loans are like they came to maturity at the exact same time. Boom, domino effect. Okay, fast forward another 11, 12 years. What happened?
COVID.
Okay, boom. What happened? We had to keep the economy going, so they lowered interest rates, which increased prices slowly. Now, if rates have been brought back up, which they haven't been rate drops in the past 2 years, except the past 3 months. What is going to happen? What goes up must come down, right? So when rates go higher, prices go down. When rates go lower, prices go up. So right now, we're here. They made 3 rate drops. By the way, Jerome Powell, Mr. in charge of the Fed, doesn't control interest rates for the mortgage. It's a 10-year Treasury bond. That's what really controls the interest rates, which they forecast this is going to happen. So before that noise even hits, they're already lowering the rates. So now what I'm saying is, fuck the noise, fuck the rates, fuck the prices. What is the fear of your generation buying a house right now?
The fear? I mean, I don't know if it's a fear. I think a lot of people just can't afford it.
So it's affordability.
I mean,
Okay.
Number one thing, I think
Perfect.
affordability and
real.
maybe flexibility. Maybe people don't know if they want to live in the area for the next 20, 30 years.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this same question, but specifically targeted to you. What's preventing you from buying a house in the next 24 months outside of affordability?
Really, it's just affordability for me personally.
So now we've figured out exactly what the main thing is there. So then if we found you making all this up, we found you a $400,000 crib and it cost you $2,000 a month, or we found you a $200,000 crib and it cost you $2,000 a month, would it matter which house do you have because of the affordability? Because it's the exact same price.
I mean, I would probably want to get the more expensive house that I'm still paying the same amount for.
What if the more expensive house was not in a desirable area, but the $200,000 house was exactly where you wanted to be?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
See, this is where the education comes in, because there's one thing that will never change in real estate. It's 3 words: location, location, location. I could put a mansion in the hood and it's going to sit for a little longer. I can put a shack in the dopest neighborhood in the area. It'll sell in a day. So, but also you're talking about going back. We're not on streaming services. You actually own this asset. So over time, unlike a CD, unlike vinyl, it might not increase in value, but this will, because of what Edgar was saying earlier. Supply and demand, dog. It's like, forget real estate. It's just strictly sales 101. If you don't have a lot of stuff, but everybody wants it, that's what happened. This year, it finally married the buyers and sellers. It's finally to an equal market. So now, us 3 professionals and the other 397 agents here that we have at the firm, they're able to get closing costs for clients. They're able to actually make it more affordable for people that are worried about that to get in it, because typically you're doing like 5% down. So 5% down on 300 bands, that's 15 bands. That's just your down payment. And you got closing costs, boom, that's another 10 bands. So you're talking about 25 bands to get into a crib. That's normal, just to be very clear. But if you have somebody that can negotiate 10 bands of that to be covered, so you only have to worry about the down payment. Oh, just so you know, we might have some other down payment assistance programs with our partners that might be able to cover all of that or half of that. Yeah. Fuck, we just knocked that shit down by 80%. You see what I'm saying? It's really who you work with. It's like a podcast we were talking about earlier. Everybody might tune into a podcast, but is this like sketch? Is this real or authentic? Nah, dog, I like the more authentic shit. So if we're going to talk about that for real, just because you have a real estate license doesn't mean you're a professional. You got to be trained. You got to know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. And we say this because when we say that what we're doing, bro, we sell houses and t-shirts, jeans and Jordans. We don't say that as like a flex. We say that because we're authentically being us, because that is the best way we can perform and serve our clients, because it's not about the bread. It's the client wins, we win. But in order for them to win, it's the education, dog, because this shit changes every month. History will always repeat itself, though. That's what I'm trying to say. So now the only reason that shit happened in 2008 and the only reason that shit happened in 2020, 2021, there was a big national crisis of some sort, whether it was bank fraud or a fucking disease or COVID. Doesn't matter. So unless something like that shit happens again, we're probably not going to see those rates again. But more importantly, shit's going to continue to go up. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you this. I bought my first house in late 2006. Then the crash happened.
Shit. I love the story.
I turned around and bought my second house. I rented that first house because I was upside down. Bought my second house at the bottom of the market in 2011 in San Diego area. Waited. This one sold. Then I doubled my money on this one when the market came back around. Went to Japan, landed here, bought my house here in 2017, bought my mom's house in 2018. And now, because I had those houses when the interest rates dropped to 2%, I was able to refinance both of them. I paid $2,700 for 2 houses, and they're put together. They're $1 million right now. But
that's your monthly mortgage.
Yeah, and
What's your
I only owe a total of $370,000 for both.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to do it. First of all, I mean, like you said, just because you have your license doesn't mean shit. I actually got my real estate license back in the day.
Oh, word?
It wasn't hard. I did the cram course in like 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tried it. This was like 10 years ago. I tried it for a little bit. I feel like it wasn't for me.
He was
tried
around.
I don't
He was
know.
around the wrong people.
That's it.
Maybe. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be like super gloom about it. Obviously, there's
No,
still
but-
ways to make it happen and do it, and success stories. Like my parents were one of them. I'm from Bosnia. I came here with my parents when I was
Okay.
like 4. And we lived in like 2 apartments when we first got here. They ended up buying a house, and they lived there for like 20 years. They paid off that house, and then with that house, they actually owned the lot next door
Dope.
that nobody ever built a house on. So they lived in that house for like 20 years, paid it off, ended up selling it and building like right next door, building a bigger house.
Cool.
And then they moved into the house, sold this one, and they do some like China stuff. They like sell these like fine China to this company.
Yeah.
So they actually already paid off that second house too.
Dope.
So
Nice.
now that's the American dream to
Facts.
me. You know, you want to own a house, you want to be able to live comfortably. I don't know. I don't want to see. I mean, I guess even tying it back into what I do in like the creative art space, we want our city or our area to be like a hot spot for creativity,
Facts.
like in Atlanta or like a LA or like a New York. But we do want to avoid some of these pitfalls that come with that come with a lot of people moving to your area. One of them is like we're talking about the price of everything going through the roof. We don't want to live in a closet for $1 million. If that's what has to happen for us to be a hotspot, I would rather avoid that. We don't want to have hundreds of thousands of homeless people and criminals in the streets doing drugs. Like we want to avoid that. We want to avoid all the violence. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens in these big cities that it makes it seem like it's not worth it to be a hotspot for like
No,
for
you're
people.
right. Me and my wife are originally from California. When we went back, when we were at that crossroad, we were like, all right, we're moving back to California, or we staying here in Hampton Roads. After we went back, she's from the Bay Area. We visited that area first.
But the Bay Area is crazy right now.
Yeah, and we were like, nah, it's not for us. And I understand it now. Like you want to be in this area where I could go to a concert, I could go to the beach, I could go to a comedy club, I could do everything, the same thing I could do in any big city. I could do it right here with that little hometown.
And I don't want to step over needles to get there.
Yeah.
I've been to LA like 5 times, bro. I've literally seen.
Yeah.
So you've been to Skid Row.
I didn't walk on Skid Row. I drove past.
No, you
it
can't
on the
walk there.
on the bus.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But like, no, I've been in LA. This was in downtown LA by the park.
Yeah.
Like this is like supposed to be a decent area. It's a homeless guy.
Echo Park.
Obviously, I mean, anybody could be homeless. Like I'm not trying to, this isn't about homeless people. Some people are just like sick and they're just like not okay in the
Mental
head. But this guy was literally sitting there, like picking shit out of his ass, right? Like with
Literally.
his hand. And like I'm like thinking it's so crazy because there's like an old couple crossing the street. It's like this like maybe like 60-year-old couple, and the husband's telling the wife, he's like, "Hey, honey, like there's a guy playing with this shit. Let's cross the street." But like the way he said it was just like he sees it every day.
Right.
I'm like, I don't want to fucking see this every day, bro.
No, you're absolutely right. And I only know I drive when I go. One of my cousins lives in one of those towers, so I have to drive through Skid Row to get there.
Yeah.
So when I'm out there, I get to see that, and it's like it's a tourist destination. It's on Google Maps. It's Skid Row.
Skid Row, that's not a place you want to
Yeah.
do some tourism
But
at.
to your point, like 2 blocks down the road is a $5 million crib.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
that's exactly. I don't ever see Hampton Roads turning into that. So like
I don't think our politicians would allow it.
I don't think it would because, and to be fair, so
What were you talking about? Bringing a pro team and all that stuff. Like
I mean
you've been to Vegas. You've been
Bro,
to
like I like
I don't
Austin.
think
Minneapolis.
I feel
We
like
could
that's
be
why
like
they don't want us
Austin.
to have a team either.
that's pretty dope.
Huh?
I think that's why they don't want us to have a team either.
Yeah.
They don't want this place getting too crowded. Like they want to keep
Yeah.
it chill.
I mean,
Like we were talking about this on my podcast recently. I forgot who I was. I think it was with Bucky Malone. He's from Manassas. But I think that our politicians and like the CIA being here and the military, like I think that's part of the reason why our area is pretty chill. Like they don't want it to get too overcrowded and too much going on.
I mean, you're not wrong because we gain and lose almost 20% of the population every year. There's not another transient market, to my knowledge at least.
No, San
that is-
Diego's
that is
even
like
bigger.
that.
So it's just how small we are and how dense.
We're landlocked too.
Yeah,
That's the
but
yeah.
Richmond's one of the biggest growing markets in all of the
It is.
United States.
I heard that, yeah.
So it's just a matter of time to where it just like we're gonna be big. Hampton, like there's
You see this area being like a Los Angeles?
No,
No,
never.
no.
Los Angeles, New York, Miami. No places will ever be like that. But I could see it being a Charlotte, a Austin. You know what I mean?
I heard Austin's really nice.
Yeah, it's
We
phenomenal.
just went
We
there. It's
just
one of the
came.
greatest cities I've been to.
So
Go.
I don't ever see it being that. Like, I'm from Jersey. I could see it being a Jersey
Okay.
instead of a New York City.
Right.
I could see that. I could see Hampton Roads.
Yeah, but with that comes the prices. But the prices, I think that Virginia Beach will be the one that's most affected.
Correct. That's why I live in
Because
Chesapeake.
they'll have the most expensive housing.
It'll be
That's
it'll
where
be
everyone
the
wants to be.
Well, it's fine because they're giving everybody $50 parking vouchers.
That is actually really
You guys
dope.
heard
I saw
about that?
voting.
Your
That
house
was
is $1
good.
million now, but here's a $50
Yeah, you get to come to the beach
parking
twice
voucher.
for free. Dead ass.
I mean, but that's twice. But see, here's the thing.
They're trying to drive
So,
tourism down there from local.
Nah, I
That's
believe
two
it. I believe it.
more times that you get free parking than you would have.
Then you wouldn't have.
Right?
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
before. So
Yeah, yeah.
like
It's true.
Yeah.
But I
that's-
mean,
that's
too,
a good thing.
There's the one thing too with like an LA, a Dago and everything. They have a lot of land. You can drive to it. Like we're just landlocked, dog. You know what I'm saying? So we don't only have so much space. Like as you
Wait,
were
how are we
saying,
landlocked?
Because the water is surround us. We can't go that much further, and then we have a whole border that goes to a different state. You see what I'm saying? So Dago, LA, that's all the same state, and it's just a highway connecting it. That's
As far as just we're one state.
Correct,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
So,
But
like-
you could just go up the coast.
But
and go
it's
to
location,
New York.
location, right? So if we're gonna move out of Virginia Beach, boom, like you're saying, the Suffolks, freaking the Franklins, all of that stuff. There's mad land out there. That's the only way to go. Other than that, the prices are always gonna continue to grow. Now, the forecasting I'm seeing the next few years, it's gonna be a slow and steady growth. I don't see that going through the roof. We're never gonna see 3% rates in our lifetime again, unless a world crash. Something has to happen. It's not just gonna be like, I decided to make it 3%. No. that's
Well,
not
I
gonna
can
happen.
see a COVID part two somewhere
Well,
on
you're
the
young enough
horizon.
it might happen to you again. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
but at that time you want to have and I just learned a lesson where it's like I already had the house to refinance it.
facts.
I had the asset.
Correct.
Yeah.
You
to
got to buy
refinance.
now, so when that happens, you can do exactly what he's saying.
Yeah,
Correct.
I already had it, and then because people are gonna spend money one way or another, where it's like you don't have, and this was crazy too during COVID. All of a sudden, we're dealing with people that need closing costs out the woodwork. Everybody had $50,000 to spend on
Facts.
the house. I was
Yeah,
like, where
facts.
the fuck did all
That's,
this
that's
money
un-
go?
unemployment probably.
Yeah, but
Everybody had
everybody
money.
had it.
The weed game was crazy during COVID. Everybody had money, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we saw it. We're like, okay, so you don't need closing costs. You got that, and you have 50 to go up.
And there was 20 other people that had the same shit out of nowhere.
But one thing I would tell you, every single person that bought during COVID, they said that's the best decision.
Facts.
I bought my house. I paid $25,000 over appraisal for my own house that I bought, and that was the best decision.
And you're
I've
sitting
ever
on
done.
mad equity, though.
Yeah, I'm sitting on very nice equity, and my mortgage payment is super comfortable. So, we'll never see that market, but the best decision was to purchase,
and
you can't wait. Like when you're saying you're coming up, I'm on a 24-month. My only advice to you is to do it sooner than later.
That's it, dog.
Yeah.
And if you have no kids and you're not tied to school zones and anything, wintertime in my
It
personal
doesn't
time
even
is
have
the
to
best
be
time
your
to buy.
forever one. Like
No.
this is just step one, bro.
just step
Well,
one.
my goal was to probably for my first house is to buy it and live in it for 2 years and then sell it and
Perfect.
try to make some money and get a better house.
That's it.
And kind of like what I did with cars, because I've sold like probably like 15 cars in my life.
Yeah.
Kind of you just keep flipping to where you get a free one.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the game. It's the
That's the
same
game.
game, just in real estate.
Correct.
If you're talking about going back to the weed game is the same thing. You go from this stage to this stage to this stage. It's the same business journey. It's just using something different. It's
Yeah.
literally the same mentality, dog. For
sure.
But Selmir, what do you got? We got to wrap this up, dog. What do you got coming up in 26? Because it's 2026 when this is airing. We're here.
Oh yeah, when is it coming out?
It's now. It's here. It's January 2026.
Okay.
The year is
January.
here.
It'll be out January.
Be out January. Okay, so
what we got? What you got lined up, dog?
well, we have a lot of episodes lined up. We have like 2 or 3 episodes booked a week till May right now.
Dope.
And February, so I haven't really announced this yet, but February 22nd, I'm going to be doing an off-road event. It's going to be called Off-Road Sessions. And it's pretty much a community create day that we're doing at Assembly on Granby Street. And it's going to be an open invite to creatives from all mediums to come and create under one roof.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have some curated programming to go along with that.
Yep.
And then we're going to do like a bunch of media there. And then after the event, we're going to do a whole rollout of all the stuff that was made there. So that's going to be the first, like, 'cause in the past 6 years of doing off-road, I've only done like 2 events, I think. I haven't done anything like this. So this will be my first time kind of putting together my own style of event. So
Damn right.
we'll see how this one goes. If it goes well,
It will.
We'll do more. I'm in the process right now trying to raise a bit of funding for it. But that's February 22nd. It's a Sunday. I'm probably going to New York in January to do some more stuff. Other than that, just more podcasts, more skits. Probably going to try out some different types of content next year.
Good.
And the thing I was going to talk to you about, we can maybe talk off air. This past few weeks, I've been thinking I want to get a gig at a radio station.
Yep.
So either like an on-air personality or at one of these stations out here, I can just they can plug me into whatever system they have. Or if they want to do some new programming, if they want to give me a time slot, I can create a whole segment for the radio. Like I can use I could partner with Off-World, use some of my clips from my interviews, can bring people there. I can create a whole show around whatever time block they give me. So I'm trying to get into that space because I want to start making money with some of these skills that I've acquired over the past few years. I want to keep doing Off-World, but I want to get a job somewhere in the space and start making money.
We'll definitely talk about that, dog. All right, where can we follow you though? What your tags?
Everywhere. The Off-World Podcast. So it's the Off-World with no O podcast, all one word.
Damn right, brother.
Thank you guys for having me.
No, dude.
thank
Thanks for coming, brother.
Thanks for coming.
I appreciate it, and I'll see you in a few months whenever I'm on be on your show. I'll just go across the water like you came across the water
Come on.
today, bro.
Come on. I'm sure we'll talk about some more real estate. These guys didn't want to. I feel like you guys were biased about the real estate market, but I understand it.
How about this? Bring somebody else that's the opposite, and I'm happy to go back and forth.
I'm kidding,
I
but
love it.
the 50% stat I did see was from like one of the top real estate analysts in the country.
Yeah, well,
So
That
like
I think also predicted the 2008 crash.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
So
We'll see.
Yeah.
what I told you, remember, it can happen, but
Anything
not
can
here-
happen.
Not here.
Okay.
Hampton Road.
yeah,
I'm holding you guys to it, man.
We're
Hold
talking
me
about
to
Hampton
it.
Roads.
Yeah.
The Hampton Roads.
I like to go on there and challenge anybody.
Okay.
Straight
Bring
up.
I
them
like
on.
it. Yeah, the biggest fear is always like you're overpaying. Right.
Yeah, it is.
I get it.
It is. Okay, now we say compared to what? Edwin, where are we following you at, dog?
Edwin Rodriguez VAB on Instagram and Edwin Rodriguez on FB.
My man. Sphere, what's up? Where are you at?
The VA agent on Instagram, Edgar Munoz on Facebook.
So Edgar the Sphere Munoz, we haven't joked each other lately, so
Nah,
we'll do that
bro.
later. No worries.
So we got
Yeah.
these things
We got
going
you.
on, like his big old forehead. Look at that thing.
And look at his. He's a sphere in Vegas. He holds the whole
Look
joint,
at his
bro.
his thoughts.
I
so
just met
deep.
these guys. So I don't want to start putting out jokes
You
yet.
need
But
to.
It's all good.
His thoughts are deep.
It's all good. I mean, they come from your brain, so it's all good. I appreciate you, dog.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Follow us here Off-World Podcast. Follow him at Selmir. He's over there killing it. Your Peak Life Podcast. Follow us, subscribe, like the whole 9 yards. DJ Julian Rivera signing out. We'll see you later. Peace.